Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
But when we are out there and we're making, the goals that we think that we have set for ourselves, we're like, and look, I did it. Then we're taking away, the power of God, that has been in our lives. And I think that's a mistake, because, the answer to all of our problems is by increasing our faith. And anything that we do, if we get rich down the road, we stand to lose that. Why? Because, hey, we didn't have the right concept in our head.
And that's how I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it because I didn't have the Spirit with me. Right. I was there and I didn't have the Spirit with me. I lost it. You remember my house, that big house we had, and we hang out, go to the jacuzzi and hang out there. And I lost all that. But the problem was it was for the wrong reason, that stuff, right? That wasn't the right reasons. When I got to that point, it was the wrong reasons. But, I was going to say this, that I was going to say it's almost a psychological wealth, but I don't really mean that like a mental wealth. What it is this: when we pay tithing, the church, God doesn't need our money. And the tithing we pay, I pay that tithe and I give it to the church. What they do with that money, it's between them and Father. I can care less.
The culture of the church is that everybody pays tithing, more so than any other church. And that's why there's, the church has accumulated that kind of wealth. They're not hoarding it. The church uses that money for a lot of great reasons, and we know what those are. It's not just, for charity, but it's for building up and edifying, the kingdom of God. We're building temples everywhere, people, they think that that's wealth and that it's just a displaying of wealth. But you and I that have been to the temple, we know what that is and what that represents. But we can go beyond 10%. We're even, when I start being charitable in every sense of that word, then I start realizing how great, God is in my life. And I can't do things without him, I remember when things weren't this way.
And there you hit it just now, Jeff. You just hit it. It's that's what I meant by the mental. It's the charitable part of it that we, man, you just slipped my tongue.
There's so many members that are charitable because of the law of tithing. They get it right, just because there's a product, that we can see, within the church having money, that should say something about the members of the church. And we have a lot to change. I'm not saying that the members can pat themselves on the back now. I'm just saying there is a culture to be faithful and to pay their tithing and to pay more. It's not just about paying tithing, it's about paying, for other charitable aspects that the church has, or you can pay into the missionary fund. So,
and it's funny that
humanitarian relief.
It's funny that, when I worked in the stake and I had a close relationship with my stake president, it was so difficult for us to be able to call leaders because it's funny because people talk about the church wealth and why you pay tithing. When I would say, I haven't seen numbers, it's pretty much private, but what I saw there in the stake, for the amount of members in the stake that paid tithing, well over half the members of the stake did not pay tithing. So if you talk about the church's wealth and so forth, and they just, the tithing coming in, and look where the church is expanding right now too, in Africa. That's the biggest growth area right now is Africa.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What are you going to get in tithing from Africans? Maybe a couple dollars a month, right? Because that's going to be what they have. Now, I'm not. So I'm just, my point being that the church isn't doing this. I don't feel, and if this church is true, which I believe it to be, then it's not doing this to create an income stream. Okay, maybe it does have to have a certain income stream to maintain the chapels and so forth like that. But all churches base their buildings funding and even the paying of their priests or so forth, or their pastors, whatever, come from those tithes that people pay, right?
Yeah.
But I think the point we're missing in all this, and the members that want to cry about all this or complain about this, they're off. They don't get the whole idea of tithing.
Well, you and I, when we went to our ward there in Costa Rica, the members did not pay for that building. You know, there's no way they could have paid for that. I remember when they bought out all that property around it, they needed a bigger piece of property, and it was a beautiful building, and I was proud of it. You know, I remember going in there when I first started coming back to church, and I remember, you know, hey, I'll be the only one cleaning, you know, washing the toilets, sweeping the floors, cleaning the pews, wiping down the pulpit, wiping down, sanitizing everything, and I just put on a set of headphones and realized that this building was paid for by sacred money. And I felt that it was a sacred place. It was a place for members to be able to meet and congregate and be enriched by the Spirit of God. I mean, people are against organized religion, but I don't get it. I don't see why now, after seeing the huge benefit from, and Africa is a classic example, because members of the church there also do not have those funds. And almost anywhere you go in Latin America, the offset of tithing, just because the church has accumulated wealth overall doesn't mean that those poorer communities aren't benefiting from those resources. They certainly are. They wouldn't be able to provide for themselves their own temple, so the church provides that for them so they can continue to worship God the way we see fit. And, everything is Christ-centered and people are improving their lives. The whole humanitarian effort, the education system within the church is second to none. We're seeing people coming out of poverty because the church gives them an avenue to be able to be educated and to have a career.
Look at the pathway
that allows them. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And my wife is currently enrolled in classes there as well. I know what that means because I know how much I paid, to finish my college degree. It was in the tens of thousands, and the church will never do that. Now people have resources and a much better education system, albeit, as well. You look at BYU and all that structure through pathways. It's just amazing. The Ensign College. It's just amazing what the church has done for its members to become self-sufficient, and teaching those things all kind of boils down to we've developed a culture worldwide within the church, and those resources aren't just monetarily.
Well, my wife is a virtual pathway instructor, right?
Right on.
And she, even though she's up here in North America, where she works is in I think it's a South American, I don't know, it's the Quito, south of Peru, north region. I don't know. It's a different, she's teaching people down there, and she gets a few people from up here that register from down there, or maybe even Americans that are down there, but that's what she does. Right. And she's done that for a year now. And,
right on.
She enjoys it. She really likes that. Now, getting back to the tithing, like my son's at BYU right now, and I'm glad he's at BYU because if he gone any other college, I'd be busting my butt trying to help him pay for it. Because he's at BYU, because it's offset. These kids don't go into deep debt. I mean, what's he pay a year there? Maybe I don't remember what it is a year.
It's hard to get in there.
12,000 maybe a year.
Not an easy school to get into.
No, he got 100% in the SAT, right? You got to score. I shouldn't say 100%. You got to score 100.
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.